listening to Fountain of Thought with your hosts, Dennis Fountain and Sunny Rain. One small step for man, one giant leap for America.
This show contains adult themes and language. Listener discretion is advised.
TGIF, everyone, and that only means one thing. Welcome to the Fountain of Thought podcast, broadcasting from the Erickson Memorial Studios. This is the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. Leave us a voicemail on our listener line at 413-612-8037. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or visit our website at fountainofthat.com. Hey, Sunny Rain, how are you doing today, sir?
Good afternoon. So I got a question for you.
49.
49, yeah. No. How was your Halloween block party?
Exceptionally well. We probably had, I lost count because we had to get other candy. We ran out. So in excess of 400 kids.
That is amazing.
I loved it. Everyone came down and they were all saying, oh my God, this is what Halloween should be a part. Thanks for being part of the neighborhood. And, you know, that's exactly what I wanted.
Well, give them a rundown on what you did.
Well, we just had I live at a dead-end street, and normally when I first moved into the neighborhood, everyone told me, this is a great neighborhood for trick-or-treaters. We got lots of kids here. Just be warned, there's lots of trick-or-treaters. And we figured, all right, so I think we bought for 100, and we ran out like within a half hour. And normally we get around 300 kids. The last 2 years it's declined. Last year, because we're at the end of a dead-end street, everyone just walked by, and I could see them all walking by, and no one was coming down our street. So I thought, I need to, make them come down a little more. And so I broke out the DJ equipment, the lights, the fog machine. We got some monsters. We decorated. I partnered up with my neighbor, Mike, and I had a game show wheel where they could win different prizes and extra candy. We all gave them candy, but they could win extra stuff. And we had a cornhole game where they could win extra stuff, hot chocolate, hot cider, which I didn't think would go over too well because it's kind of, that's a weird thing that maybe you're not going to take it because you don't know who these people are. But we were mobbed. In fact, I think next year, I'm serious, I'm going to put in bring my picnic tables out and put some tables out because people were hanging around drinking hot chocolate and socializing, and it was a block party. And I was shocked. It went over very well.
I spent the evening... No, but I ended up just watching TV, and it just luckily, as we talked about the week before, 7 o'clock Poltergeist came on, the original.
Oh, the original, yeah.
So I sat and me and my mother watched Poltergeist, and we had some popcorn, and I'm pissed because Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, and I was looking forward to being there, but as luck would have it, just the way things have been going for me lately. So,
well, we'll be there next year, so.
But I did catch later on. I'm sorry, today.
No, go ahead.
I did catch that night. They must have been just repeating it. Saturday Night Live's Halloween special.
I didn't see it.
Okay, well, let me tell you something. With everything in the news going on right now, with the racism and the N-word and political correctness and. You had to see this show. First of all, they had Dave Chappelle on there, and he must have used the N-word I don't know how many times in one skit.
On Saturday Night Live?
On Saturday Night Live.
Did they let it go through?
Apparently. And in some of these skits, I know I've seen them in past episodes, so I think it was one of these things where they just spliced it together. Yeah, because they didn't have a live performer, so to say.
I'm surprised they let him go through with that word.
Oh my God! He did this whole skit where he played all the characters. The skit was new. It was actually a spoof of Walking Dead with Negan.
Yeah,
when he's got the bat and he's got everybody on their knees. Yeah. Well, everybody on their knees is all characters that Dave Chappelle's playing. And every other word was the N-word.
Wow.
And I was just blown away. And, as far as political correctness, I mean, they were cracking on gays. I was just like, you got to be kidding me, especially right now with everything that's so sensitive. You're going to just throw that out there. I mean, that took some big, huge cojones.
I'd like to research that and find out what was the outcome of that, because I'm political correctness, okay, yeah, but the N-word, I'm shocked that because NBC is a network, they're held to higher standards than cable is.
Well, I still have it TiVo'd, so we could go over my place later. And
Go over your place.
You go over my place. We go over my place later, and I'll show you the skit.
Yeah,
It's going to blow your mind. And I couldn't believe it because that's something you just see on pay TV or usually a pay.
Well, yeah, but that's like I said because
it's usually part of his.
Yeah,
But he borrowed all the characters from his skit. You know, the crack guy, and the blind black man who thinks he's white, and I was just blown away. I was like, I can't believe they even just did that. But I'll have to show it to you.
All right. Okay. Want to do some football picks?
Sure.
All right. I am saddened to say that you won last week every single game.
I know, isn't that amazing?
Every single game. You had a perfect week.
Yeah, but I tied, I believe his name was it Juan?
I don't know.
He had the exact same picks as me, and it came down to that final...
the number.
Number?
Closest to...
He picked 41, I picked 42, and it was above 42. Yeah. I mean, talk about coming down to the scrape. But I won 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
2 weeks
2 weeks in a row. So you had 13 last week. I had 11. So we are now, the score is Dennis 72, Sonny 76. All right. So what do we got this week?
Well, we had the Buffalo and New York game. I took the Bills.
I also took the Bills. So we both lost that one.
No kidding.
Yeah, 31,
Wow.
31-24.
I mean, bad.
21, something like that. But
bad for our picks, but good for our division.
Yeah. So
that's keeping everybody's bottom
yeah,
feeders.
below. Yeah.
Which is fine by me.
Yeah.
Okay, Sunday, November 5th, we got the Indianapolis Colts going down to see the Houston Texans.
I took the Steers.
I took the Steers as well. Medium rare or medium?
I'm going to go medium rare because I'd rather have it medium rare than medium.
Onions and onions.
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 I went to Mexicali the other day, and I've never had a steak there, and I ordered a steak, and I ordered it medium. And it was cooked a little more than I would like. That's why I say medium rare. But came with onions and peppers smothered all over it.
Tender?
Oh, my God. They must have sous vide it because I've never had a steak that was cooked so much that was so tender. So I guess.
They must marinate the meat.
No, I think it was the water bath. I think they cooked it in a water bath is what I think. And then they rip it out the last minute and put it on a grill. That's what I really think because it was very, very tender. Liked it.
Okay, let's see. We also have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling over to the New Orleans Saints for a little visit.
I took the non-sinners.
I took the non-sinners as well. Falcons are going to go see the Panthers.
This, I think, is going to be a tough game.
I too.
I'm going with the Panthers.
I'm going with the Panthers at home. Yeah. Baltimore Ravens over at the
Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Tennessee Titans.
I took the Titans.
Really?
I did.
After the trampling?
I took the Titans.
I'm sticking with those Ravens. I think they're hot right now.
Okay.
Bengals are going to go see the Jaguars.
I took the... Was that better?
Make that two of us. L.A. Rams are going to go to New York City to face the Giants.
To me, this was actually another tough one, but I took the Rams.
I took the Rams as well. Denver Broncos going over to see the Philadelphia Eagles.
And a third tough one I think could go either way. I know they all could go either way, but I think this is going to be a close game. I took the Eagles.
I took the Eagles as well. Sunday night game, Arizona Cardinals are going to visit the San Francisco 49ers.
I picked Arizona.
You know, that was a tough one for me because I'm pretty sure they're going to start Garoppolo.
I think so.
If anybody out there doesn't know, the Patriots traded Garoppolo, their second-string quarterback, for just a second-round pick. I don't get that. Why didn't you trade for something you needed, with a team that was hard up for a quarterback in the mid-season?
Maybe they got something in mind that we don't know about.
I know that was weird. Very, very weird. So I took Arizona. Washington Redskins going to see the Seahawks.
I took the Birds.
Yeah, that's an easy pick. I took the Birds as well. Kansas City going into Dallas. Now, that's an interesting one.
I'm going against the grain, and I'm picking Dallas.
I'm picking Dallas as well. The Raiders are going to go see the Dolphins.
Again, another tough one, but I picked the Raiders.
I took the Dolphins at home. This one was a tough one. Lions at Green Bay Packers.
I did not take Green Bay.
I took the Lions too. Yeah. Only because without Aaron Rodgers, I'm just not positive.
It's too unsure.
Yeah. The Lions are still playing decent football, and I don't know if this backup quarterback's ready for that kind of pressure. So we might be wrong. Hey, we might be wrong. Green Bay
some of us had a perfect week, so
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, obviously my perfect week is over. Yeah. Thanks, New York Jets.
Perfect week. One more reason to hate them.
Yeah, I have lots of reasons.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's our picks for this week. Brought to you by Picks.
So I want to talk about little things that are in the news. I don't really have a topic per se, but I'm just calling it in the news. There are some things that I want to pass on. First thing I want to pass on is a warning. There's a recall on all of Cadet fire extinguishers from 1973 to current. They're millions. They're talking in excess of 40 million fire extinguishers have been recalled.
Holy crap.
From 1973 all the way back then. Apparently there have been fatalities. So they're recalling them. Basically, I can't read you the model numbers, folks, because there's literally 2 pages of them. But basically, any fire extinguisher with a plastic handle has been recalled because they're sticking, they're falling off, they're not working, so they're causing problems.
And where do you bring these?
You can go to kidday.com for information, or you can call 855-271-0773, and they are replacing them for free. But I don't know how the company's going to handle that. That could easily bankrupt the company.
Easily bankrupt.
They are the largest manufacturer of personal fire extinguishers and commercial. But as far as personal goes, Cadet is they're huge. They're now a subsidy of United Technologies. They didn't used to be, but they've been bought out recently by United Technologies. So UT can afford it, but I don't know about Cadet. That's a big hit. That's if everyone pays attention. So that's why I'm saying it, because you might have missed it in the news. But I think it's important for safety reasons. Going back to 1973 is just that's another something that's amazing. It took this long to realize that hey, fire extinguishers aren't working.
Well, remind me by email on the website, because I do have a plastic handle fire extinguisher in our kitchen.
If it's from Cadet, it's been recalled.
It's been there since 1978.
Well, that's another thing. Just because you have a fire extinguisher, you should check it and make sure it's still pressurized and working properly.
Very good. Yes, that's a very good practice. I'm guilty of not doing it, but
a good thing is daylight savings time. It's a good time to check your fire extinguishers, check the batteries in your smoke detectors and your carbon monoxide detectors. If you don't have a carbon monoxide detector, you really should get one. They're not that expensive. If you cannot afford one, you can go to your local fire department, and most likely they'll just give you one for free.
Now, tell me, where's the best place to mount those?
The carbon monoxide or a fire? Well, they're two different things, but
the carbon monoxide. But is that should that be as close to the furnace as possible?
You can. I have one by the furnace, and I have one because the furnace is in my basement and one on my first floor. You want to put it primarily on your first floor.
So it would be
if that's where you're sleeping, because that's most likely what's going to happen is while you're sleeping, you're not going to wake up.
Right. So you want it in hearing distance, but you want it close enough to sense the furnace, whether it's giving off
carbon monoxide. Yeah.
Carbon monoxide.
Yeah. And like I said, you can you can buy them. They're inexpensive when it comes to saving your life. I mean, for $30 you can get a carbon monoxide / smoke detector. But also, like I said, if you're if you don't have the money. I'm 99% sure that almost every town does this. You go to the fire department and tell them, and they'll get you one for free. I know that certain times of the year they just give them away. You don't have to be low income or anything. They'll just give them away because they want you to be safe.
Well, here in town, they do once a year. They do, and you can sign up for inspection, and they'll come through and they'll check all your stuff.
And will they replace them if you?
And they'll replace what's needs to be replaced.
Yeah, so that's something, and it's usually people say do it for daylight savings because that'll remember, because it should be done twice a year. So that's a good thing to do. Like I said, Cadet.com or 855-271-0773 to have your fire extinguisher replaced, or to find out if it needs to be replaced. They will help you and talk you through that. And don't forget to check the batteries in your smoke detector and your carbon monoxide.
Flashlights as well.
I love this. If you're going to get a flashlight, I have one that plugs into the wall and just recharges. So immediately, if the power goes off, the flashlight turns on, or as soon as I remove it from the base, it turns on. So those are great flashlights.
Believe it or not, I have this in my bedroom. It's a flashlight where you take it, you have to crank a handle for a little bit, and it charges it up.
I have some of those. We use them for Girl Scouts because the batteries would go.
It's the coolest thing.
I have a radio that does that too, and a lantern. Yeah,
you should always have a working radio, folks.
Yeah,
definitely a working radio. Power generators, a recommended item. Well, a lot of people don't think of it until all of a sudden they need it, and it's
around here in New England, it's been really weird. I'm going to say last 5 years. We had that horrible October storm where people went out without power for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They were a long time without power. You can't survive that long without power. Just the other day, we had a windstorm come through. In fact, it blew the siding off the side of my house, which I'm really ticked off about. But 5 days, I think, went without power. My sister in New Hampshire just got it back, and she almost 2 weeks without power. So, you don't think of these things, but it does happen. And generators are coming down in price. Those are still rather expensive. But if you're any type of like camping person, like with us with Girl Scouts or something, I mean, have some propane handy, and you can use a propane for your flashlight. You can use a propane for heat. You can use a propane to cook on. So it works out very well if you're that handy, camping handy.
I was lucky right after that ice storm, and due to the fact that I was working at a place where I got an extremely great discount, I did pick up a power generator. So
you didn't give me one.
Well, you didn't ask for one.
Uh-huh. Yeah, during that October storm, 5 years? Was 5 years ago? No, 4 years ago. Wasn't quite 5, right?
It's either 4 or 5 because it's just when I got Brady.
Yeah, we lost power for probably 3 or 4 days. But like I said, the rest of my town was out for weeks, and it was funny because my kids' friends and my sister-in-law were all coming over to my house for showers and everything because they didn't have any power. But I did want to talk about daylight savings times a little bit. There is a commission that just met in Massachusetts, in Boston, and they are trying to take Massachusetts out of the current time zone and put us in the Atlantic time zone, which does not observe daylight savings time, which I think would be awesome. I hate daylight savings times with a passion. 4:30 at night, it's pitch black out, and 4:30 in the afternoon, it's pitch black out, and you feel like, going to sleep and taking a nap. So a special commission of 11 members, they've been working for months studying the issues of moving Massachusetts from Eastern to Atlantic, and they reported Wednesday that after studying the potential effect on crime, the economy, school start times, and other factors, that Massachusetts should switch to the Atlantic time zone.
So they're going to be the only one in the Atlantic?
Well, this is the problem. They are recommending that Massachusetts does it. Other states are looking at it. The problem is Massachusetts won't do it by themselves. That's the problem. So they want the rest of New England and New York to follow suit. If that happens, if they can agree to it, then we'll all switch. But they want those other states to do it as well. I don't care. Arizona doesn't observe the daylight savings time. They're the only state that does not. Arizona does not observe daylight savings time. And they do just fine. So... But, Massachusetts does not want to do it unless other states. I can see how it could be a headache, especially, we're so small over here with, Connecticut and Rhode Island especially. we're so close. I could see how it could prove some difficulties, but just
Hawaii and Alaska both.
I don't know what time zone they're in.
No, but I'm saying they observe daylight savings
Yes,
time.
every state observes daylight savings time except Arizona.
Except for Arizona.
They're the only state that does not observe it.
Weird. Never knew that.
Yeah. So I don't know if you think that we should get rid of daylight savings time. Write your congressman, write your senator, and maybe you can help them decide. But I just think it would be good. That would put us in the same time zone as Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and several other Caribbean countries, which would be weird to change time zones, But I don't know why they just don't say we're just not going to. We'll still be the Eastern time zone, but we're not observing daylight savings time.
Okay, but the Atlantic is further over than Eastern.
Yeah, because it includes Canadian maritime provinces, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, several other Caribbean and South American countries.
So now that would mean the 1 o'clock game would start at noontime?
Well, no, it would still start at 1 o'clock, but that's what I'm saying is that they're making this. I don't know why we just don't stay in the Eastern time zone, but just do not observe daylight savings time, just like Arizona. I believe they're Central time zone, and they just don't observe it. And so I don't see what the big hubbub is about it. Just don't observe. We don't change the clocks. Stays the same.
Makes sense to me. Moving along. I have something I wanted to bring up. Remember we discussed back during the election how the Democratic Party will wear red or blue tie and the Republic. Okay.
Yes.
First of all, I came to the conclusion that they need to decide permanently which is going to be for which. And I was thinking about this because Donald Trump loves to wear solid ties.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Right. And I always see him once in a while either in a red one or a blue one.
Or yellow. He wears this gold tie a lot, too, which I like.
Okay, well, my point was this. I was thinking if you use that as a marker and a kind of like a uniform thing with your senators and your representatives, I think if you are in a particular party and you're working in the government for any particular
You want to give them uniforms?
Well, no, just give them that particular colored tie so that way you can tell who's who just by looking at them.
I can tell who's who by just listening to them. But
now, does the Independent Party have their own color?
No.
We'll give them yellow.
Well, the Green Party has green, so
okay, see?
Green Party will be green.
Yeah. I think that would really be...
You think that would work out?
Well, it would look nice in Congress.
Yeah.
When you look at the whole
It would look
group.
pretty? Yeah.
Uniformed.
Uniformed,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
So it's a black and then black pants, white shirt, and red or blue tie, or what do the ladies wear? Scarves? Ascots? What do the ladies wear?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
I'll go for that. Yeah.
Okay. You work on that. You let me know how
I'm
going to
work on that project, folks, and let you know how it works out.
France is cutting down on croissants.
Yes, because they are lacking in butter.
Yes, there's a butter shortage. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
Yeah, they consume more butter than the rest of the world.
Do you know how much butter they consume?
I didn't got the exact figures, but it's a lot.
Every person, and I thought about this, and I don't know how I could possibly ever eat this much butter. Every person goes through 18 pounds of butter a year. That is more than 1 pound a month. That's like a pound and a half of butter. Could you go through a pound and a half of butter a month?
Are you kidding me?
You do?
I said, no.
Oh, okay.
First of all, they got to be the capital of the world for cholesterol problems.
But most of them, they're not fat. Well, some of them are, but typically they're not fat like us.
Yeah, but still, that's still a lot of animal fat.
I know, but and now they say butter is good. Now you're supposed to eat butter.
Oh, that's just like eggs. It goes back and forth and back and forth.
I don't like, honestly, I don't mind butter in cooking, but I don't like the taste of butter on like toast or something. I prefer margarine.
Me too.
I like shed spread, country crock. That's what I like. But 18 pounds. That's incredible. That is oh my God. I don't know how they should all be blimps. 18 pounds of butter.
Yeah, I read that.
So,
And I see Papa John's is suing the NFL.
They are suing the NFL. Ratings are down, and therefore sales are down, so their advertising revenue is not what it should be. They're spending more money and getting less. So they're suing the NFL for kneeling, they say. That's their contention because of all of this kneeling controversy, that ratings are down and their sales are suffering. Yeah.
Well, that should be an easy suit because we all know Roger Goodell's not going to do anything about it.
Well, if it goes to the court, it ain't going to be his problem. I also see that your town now has a Domino's.
That's what they're building over. I live here, and I just realized that and found that out.
Yeah. Yeah, but I ask you things all the time about this. You're telling me, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's going to be more primarily a takeout place, right?
The new style Domino's they're very cool looking.
I know, I like them.
I like a restaurant where you can see the kitchen.
Yes.
That makes me feel better. It's all open design, open floor plan, so you can see everything. There are a couple of tables in there, but it's not really for eating. It's primarily for takeout or delivery. It's what Domino's is best for delivery.
Well, they do have good pasta.
Yeah, they have good pasta. Yeah, they have I get a chicken Alfredo that I get. Usually every Sunday, I'll get it. Sunday night, Linda and I order from Domino's. We have a standing order. But it's pasta. She gets pasta primavera, and I get Alfredo. But it's good. It's not bad.
Never let it be said you're not a romantic.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I do have one more thing. Anthony Rapp, who plays Lieutenant Stamets on Star Trek Discovery, just came out and accused Kevin Spacey of sexual assault. I don't want to get really in-depth into this, but I just want to comment on a few things and give you my opinion. And I know that who cares, but that's what this show is. It's an opinion show. This happened, if allegedly, over 31 years ago. Apparently, Anthony Rapp and Kevin Spacey were doing some theater together in New York. And Anthony Rapp was 14 years old at the time, and Kevin Spacey was 26. Rapp alleges that they went to some after party at Kevin Spacey's house, and he picked him up, brought him into the bedroom, threw him on the bed, and climbed on top of him. And Anthony Rapp had to, shove him off and whatever. Kevin Spacey has come out and said in a statement that he is gay. That was 2 days ago or 3 days ago. He released a statement saying he was gay. He's been with both sexes, but he is gay. He does not decline or deny what happened. He says if it happened, it was probably he was drunk and he doesn't remember, and he apologized for it, but he says he has no recollection of the event. Here's my problem. Why would you come out and say this 31 years after it happened? Now, granted, he was 14 years old. He was a minor. If it happened, it probably should never have happened. But I don't know both sides of the story. And listen, this is where my opinion comes into play, and I'm probably going to piss some people off. I think people use the sexual harassment term way too lightly. I think, and I think there needs to be more clear definitions of what sexual harassment is. Just because I think something is inappropriate, it doesn't automatically make it sexual harassment. Because I can look at you and say, "Hey, gorgeous, you know what? That's sexual harassment." I can be fired by saying that. Or, "Wow, you look pretty today." I can be fired for saying that.
All those kind of things have gone overboard.
That's ridiculous. And I also have to tell you, and I'm sorry, if this happened and he was 14 years old, it probably did traumatize him and bother him.
That's where we're going to disagree. Because if you're 26 years old, use your head. I don't care. And then don't lean on booze. Don't lean on booze.
They say he doesn't know that he was in the play with them, and they no one knew what ages they were, so they didn't know he was 14. Allegedly, he was 18. He was an adult because he was at the party, and apparently he was drinking. Again, there's so many ifs that go into this.
Okay, well,
I don't want to defend.
I was going to bring this. I was going to go into this subject, and you kind of led me right into it. I was watching Dr. Oz, and he had Corey Feldman.
Yeah,
he had Corey Feldman on there who came out.
This is all happening now. They're all coming out.
Well, the thing is, the reason it's happening is because we've now become so socially acceptable of being okay to be gay, and none of that's bad anymore. Yeah. Well, now all these poor kids that got diddled by their parents or whatever are coming out now because now they don't have to feel ashamed,
right?
And they're trying to spread the word to other ones to say, "Listen, come out." Now that brings,
#Me Too.
Yeah, okay, but that brings me to a point. It comes down with what Corey was concerned about was statute of limitations. how long can it be before you can still prosecute somebody?
There is no statute of limitations on rape except for in, like, I believe 3 or 4 states. But in almost every state, there is no statute of limitations on rape. Sexual assault is different, but different depends on what it is. But on rape, there is no statute of
I
limitations.
believe in New York there is.
It's possible. I said 3 or 4 states. I don't know what they are, but there is no statute of limitations on rape in, I don't know, let's say 47, 45 of the states. I don't know.
Well, if you commit murder, there's no statute of limitations.
Correct.
Every other crime out there has a statute of limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that needs to be widened out a little bit. Okay, fine. You're not going to pull somebody in because they robbed a 7-Eleven 35 years ago, bad judgment, poor, different life situation. I get that kind of things. Fine. Those need to be handled right away or not never handled at all. But when it comes to rape or molesting children, I don't think there should be a
statute of limitations.
No.
I do.
No, I'm sorry. I do
I
not.
think there should be a statute of limitations on just about anything. And the reason is because this is what I'm getting at. I barely remember what happened 2 years ago, never mind 30 years ago. Could I tell you what happened 30 years ago? And what I'm saying, tell you what happened accurately so I can testify in court and either put somebody away for life or kill them. Could I testify to that? You're going to say yes, but I can guarantee you. Let's just say this alleged, and it's not even a rape. And to me, that's not even sexual assault. I mean, he picked him up and carried him into his bedroom. Allegedly, he didn't say anything. Hello, you have to say something. And this is where I'm going to get creamed by everybody. I'm sorry. If something is happening to you and you don't want it to happen to you, you have to say something. You have to say, no, stop, don't do that, I don't want that. And you have to say something. And I know people have been raped, and they go into this shell of a person, and they just go into their inner selves, and they don't say anything, and they sit there. And what show? We talked about it on this show when we talked about suicide. The show on Netflix, 13 Reasons Why, and one of the girls got raped in a hot tub. You could see in her eye, and the life just left her. And I don't want you to go out because it's gruesome or something, but you need to look at that scene. That scene shows exactly what I'm saying, and it shows what can happen when a person gets raped. They lose touch with the reality. They go within themselves, and they're incapable of speaking up or saying something.
Well, rape and improper touching is two different things.
Yeah.
I wasn't applying just to Kevin Spacey.
I know,
I was just saying,
what I'm saying,
in general, if you molest a child, there should be no statute of limitation on that.
But there has to be proof. And what I'm getting at is the longer that's why there are statute of limitations.
All right, that's my point. I didn't say anything about proof, whether or not it's right or wrong. I'm just saying there shouldn't be a law saying there's a statute of limitations saying, oh, okay, I got away with it, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. That shouldn't be the case. You could still be hauled in for questioning. You could still be hauled into court. You may very well win because, laws and things and,
but that's
and the way
why
of life
there's a
has changed.
statute of limitations.
I understand, but again, that's just to save money.
No, it's not.
Oh,
it's
bullshit.
not to save money. No, the statute of limitations is there because the longer time goes by, the less accurate things become. And especially if you're the victim, and this is what I was getting at, you remember events differently. In your mind, you play them over and over and over again, and your events are different than what actually happened. The bottom line is that I think this is ridiculous. 31 years, and I'm just going to do the Kevin Spacey thing. 31 years later, I'm sorry. If it happened, I'm sorry. But 31 years later, you can't come out, and it wasn't. And all right, I don't want to belittle, any type of sexual assault. I don't want to do that. But from what I hear, and this is just what's out there, he picked him up from one room, brought him into the bed. He says threw him on the bed, tossed him on the bed. We don't know. He says he used the word threw. So he threw him on the bed. He climbed on top of him. He tried to kiss him, and he shoved him off or pushed him off and then left. And this is where I'm going to get, if anyone's going to give me letters, this is where it's going to be. In your opinion, is that a sexual assault?
Yes.
I disagree. I think that's not a sexual assault worthy of a crime of committing. No, I don't think so. I absolutely do not think so. Because until he said no, Nothing happened. He picked him up.
But you don't
he
know.
threw them on the bed.
You don't know what was said before.
I know,
got to the
but that's
bed.
what I'm saying. But this happens all the time. People are accused of sexual assault for
And he
nothing.
also, and again, he also
For
used the
nothing.
fact that he was drunk, and the kid was
Well,
drunk.
no. Kevin Spacey says he doesn't remember. He says he could have been drunk. If it was a party back then, he says maybe he was drunk. He doesn't know. He has no recollection. He didn't say he was definitely drunk. He said he could have been. I don't want to, debate the whole Kevin Spacey thing. But my whole problem with this thing is that, and again, it could be because I'm a guy, and that's what people are going to say. But in my opinion, that is not sexual assault. He said no and pushed him off, and that was the end of it. He didn't pursue it. If he had pursued it, that's a different story. Once you say no or back off or you push somebody away or I don't like it, if you give any kind of negativity towards that, then that's what it is. And I don't need you to go into any personal event that happened with you, but all those years that you were in the band, if somebody came up to you and you kissed somebody or something, all of a sudden that could be sexual assault because they didn't want it to happen. You don't know what the other person is thinking, but the way the law says is if you didn't want it to happen, it's a sexual assault, and I disagree with that. You have to somehow show that you don't want it to happen. You can't, at a movie, you're watching a movie, you put your arm around a girl, you can't lean in and kiss her because she could push away, oh my God, and then run off. That's sexual assault. This is what I'm saying. It's gotten to the point where it's ridiculous. And I'm sorry, but there has to be some way where somebody has to say something or do something to say. Now, let's take the movie theater. You put your arm around her, you reach in to give her a kiss, she's all offended and she runs off. If you pursue that, that's sexual assault because now you know she doesn't want it.
It's also sexual harassment.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody still has to make the first move,
right,
when it comes to dating,
right.
And if it's not welcome, if the
right.
person says no and you say okay, fine, and back off,
right,
then done deal,
right.
But you can't be guilty just for the fact of trying.
And that's what's happening. And that's
but in
wrong.
that case with Kevin Spacey, it was a minor.
Yes, but he didn't know.
Oh,
it was
bullshit!
A minor,
That's always what. That's always
know.
I didn't know.
Again, it's 31. This is what? Let's talk. It's 31 years ago.
Yeah, 31 years ago. This guy's coming out. How many times has he done it since? You don't know.
Well, that's what they're claiming now. They're claiming that Kevin Spacey is
and the
a
reason
repeat
why
offender,
they're trying to blow this alarm because they want these kids to come forward from years ago to out these people so these people can begin to be watched.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's what you need to do is you need to train people. You need to train kids today and I was joking with Linda. I says, do we need to fill out an application now before we get a kiss? I mean, you have to train them. Listen, if it's an unwanted advance, you have to let them know. If I say, wow, Sonny, you look pretty today, you have to let them know. You just can't go to HR and say, I've been sexually assaulted, or sexually harassed. You have to say, listen, thanks for the compliment, but that offends me. Please don't do it again. You have to put people on notice. They have to have some notice first.
Yes, that I agree with.
So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
No, but you're also saying that you disagree with the fact that there should be no statute of limitations on anything.
That there should be no. I think there should be a statute of limitations on.
That's what I mean.
I do. I think so because I'm telling you, 30. I don't care who you are. 31 years ago, it's especially when it's a he said she said case. You can't do it. You cannot. You can't bring that to court. You just can't. No, a murder is something different. Murder, you have fingerprints and blood and DNA and witnesses and all. You've got. Hopefully you have more things. So that's possible. But when it comes to he said, she said crimes, it doesn't have to be sexual assault. It's just there needs to be some time frame because it's unfair. It's unfair is what it is. That's all I'm saying.
Folks, call him up and tell him what an idiot he really is.
All right. We're going to be right back after I run around the studio naked singing I'm a Little Teapot. Here's my spout.
Hey, what's up? Thinking about you. XOXOXO. Want to snuggle. ... JK. Hit me back. You getting these texts? ? We should hang later. I miss you. Holla at ya, boy. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you at home? Where are you? What are you doing? OMG. You are making me mad. Are you with your ex? You better text me back. I'm waiting outside your house.
Relentless, aggressive texting is like sending an angry robot to deliver your message. When does the robot become dangerous? Let us know at that'snotcool.com.
That'snotcool.com.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wit and charm DJs Dennis and Sunny have. Fountainofthought.com. Website you go. Episodes new every Friday at 7.
Welcome back. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor or advertiser on our show, please drop us an email at talkfot@gmail.com.
That was very rude, by the way, on your part.
You didn't like my dancing?
No, after that break, you never asked me if I had any final things I wanted to say.
Do you have any final things you want to say?
Yes, I had one final thing I
What
wanted
is
to
your
say.
final thing you'd like to say?
Well, without getting into it, we all heard about this big terrorist thing in New York and
Yes.
and all this stuff that's going on with multicultures and multi-religions and
Yes.
all this stuff. Okay. When we get into this thing called a fair trial, we have to go to court. You have to take an oath before you get on the witness stand.
No, you don't.
You don't now?
Not every place does that, no. You don't have to swear in the Bible.
Well, it wasn't just the Bible. My point is how can you declare an oath now with so many different cultures out there? You know, you got somebody who's Hindu or Buddhist.
You have to
and say,
swear to tell the
"Here,
truth, the whole truth,
Swear
and
on the
nothing
Bible. And they're like, okay, fine, I'll swear on the Bible.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Oh, okay. That was something I wanted to ask you before you got rude and cut me off.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
The moment you've been waiting for is finally here. Yes, true or false headlines.
All right, True or False Headlines is being sponsored by the Ludlow Lions Club. Do you want to help those in need in your neighborhood? Volunteer today by visiting ludlowlions.org or by calling 754-900-ROAR. All right, how this works is I will read a headline. You will tell me whether it's an actual headline, true or false. Are you ready?
Born ready, buddy.
All right. Feel free to play along at home. The first one is nurse fired for performing exorcism on a patient.
That is probably true.
That is true. A nurse in Oklahoma City has been banned from working at Oklahoma County Jail after she allegedly performed an exorcism on an inmate who died the next day. Linda Herlong Jackson allegedly performed an exorcism on Amanda Lynette Freeman, a 32-year-old woman who was in jail after being arrested on a drug complaint. Detention officials said that when Freeman started having a seizure, the 67-year-old Jackson was called in to help. A witness who worked at the facility said Freeman was thrashing around and screaming when Jackson asked other jail employees if anyone would mind if she performed an exorcism. She then allegedly said, "I revoke you, demons," rather than provide medical assistance. A sheriff's lieutenant who arrived at the scene stopped the exorcism. Freeman died the next day of an acute coronary event due to methamphetamine use. Jackson had worked at the jail for 6 years as an employee of Armor Correctional Health Services, which contracts the jail. That means that Oklahoma County Sheriff's Police Department, Taylor, could not fire her since she wasn't technically his employee. Instead, he officially banned her from working at the jail on October 20th. Armor Correctional Health Services fired Jackson after initially suspending her. Jackson's denied all exorcism allegations in an interview with the Oklahoman. "Oh, brother," she said, "no, I didn't do an exorcism. The patient didn't die, by the way, on my shift." The sheriff's office has turned over the findings of their own investigation to the district attorney's office for potential prosecution. All right. Next one is woman offers sex to undercover cop for a Beanie Baby.
True.
That is true. A Florida woman was arrested last week after she allegedly offered sex in exchange for a Beanie Baby and $5. Sorry, I can't.
Wow.
St. Petersburg police said 51-year-old Karen Robinson got into an undercover vehicle around 11 p.m. Wednesday after the driver pulled over on a side street. The suspect then allegedly negotiated a deal to perform oral sex for $5 and a Beanie Baby, according to to an arrest affidavit. A spokeswoman for the St. Petersburg Police Department told the Huffington Post that the Beanie Baby was in the car to make it look like it was more of a family vehicle. Although some Beanie Babies can sell for up to $2,800, depending upon their rarity, the arresting officer did not specify which bear was the subject of the negotiation. Robinson was arrested on prostitution charges, a misdemeanor in Florida. She denied the crime. Jail records show she was released on her own recognizance Thursday afternoon. And if you would like to take a look at this beauty, she is on our website. So head over to the website, the photo section, and you can see her in all her glory.
What happened to the Beanie Baby?
It stayed in the car, I believe. And
Yeah,
it didn't. Yeah, because it never got turned over because the act never happened.
There was no transaction completed.
There was right, exactly. Yeah. All right, here is the next one. Man arrested for running around recording studio naked while singing "I'm a Little Teapot."
Trust me, that is false.
That is false. You are correct. Wow, you are doing good today. You are on a roll. Here's the last one. Man loses penis while raping pit bull.
I'm going to go with true.
Ding, 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 ding. You are correct, and you have a perfect score. That is true.
What an idiot.
Yeah. Jesus Ramon Sanchez, a 37-year-old man from Little Havana, Florida, is suffering some very serious groin injuries after being bitten by a pit bull. He was admitted to the Ryder Trauma Center after allegedly attempting to engage in sexual intercourse with a 4-year-old male pit bull when the dog defended itself by tearing off the man's genitals with its teeth. Oh, I can't.
God.
The incident took place around 8:30 this morning in the Allen Moore's Dog Park in Miami. According to witnesses, 4-year-old, and this is what it says, 4-year-old Spanky was playing with his owner in the park when Mr. Sanchez grabbed him and attempted to rape him. The male pit bull violently resisted and severely injured its attacker's legs, arms, and groin. Mr. Sanchez was bleeding abundantly during his transport to Ryder Trauma Center, but the doctors were able to stabilize him and they no longer fear for his life. Unfortunately, despite tremendous efforts, the medical staff wasn't able to save his genitals, which were almost entirely destroyed by the dog. The motivations behind Mr. Sanchez's actions remain unclear, and he could still face some criminal charges since the Miami Police Department has opened an investigation on the incident. Okay.
Well,
I got several things to talk about this.
I'm just going to say you reap what you sow.
First of all, he was in a park. Who rapes anything in a park?
Yeah, how does that thought go across your mind? Oh, what a beautiful day. I'm here with my dog. I think I'll fuck it. How does that work?
Oh, no. And the beauty of this was sent in by a listener. The link was sent in by a listener. Yep. So they said you have to get this for your true or false headline. So I researched it, and here it is. But I just don't. I don't know. I'm speechless. I don't understand how you could possibly. I don't know. All right, is your pool looking like your future a little murky? Then let no worries for you. Professional Pool Service handle all your pool needs, serving Osceola, Orange, and Polk counties in Florida. Clear your mind by clearing your pool. Give them a call today at 407-953-7926. All right, this is where we play along. Sonny and I will volley sound clips back and forth to each other, and there will be a winner and a loser, hopefully, each week. And the loser will buy the winner lunch at the end of the month, and at the end of the year, the loser will buy the winner dinner. Now, the good part is you, the audience, get to participate as well, because if you go to our website and register and get more details, you too could win. Because what's going to happen is, at the end of the month, the loser not only buys the winner lunch, but they also buy a lucky listener lunch, and the same goes for the end of the year. The loser will buy the winner a dinner, and also a lucky listener a dinner as well. So that's all in the form of a gift certificate to a restaurant. Now, this month, unfortunately, Dennis and Sonny are tied at 7, so there is no winner this month.
So we just carry over to next month.
We'll start over for next month. So we are tied. All right, this week's topic is wild card. So that can be anything. So we'll have to tell us the category. But other than that, there's no clues unless you ask for one. You can ask for one clue and you have one pass.
Okay, you go first.
It is an action movie.
I heard another rumor that you were bitten by a king cobra.
Yeah, I was. But after 5 days of agonizing pain, the cobra died.
I'll take a clue.
Clue. That was Sylvester Stallone and Chuck Norris.
Sylvester Stallone and Chuck Norris?
Yes.
Cobra?
Expendables 2.
Oh, my God, that's right.
Your turn.
Your first one is comedy.
Don't think for a minute that we in Washington don't appreciate your mother's march to ban the sale of colored toilet paper to help reduce irritation of the rectum.
I'm just going to go straight out and pass.
Really?
Yeah.
Cannonball Run. Mr. Foyt. Your next one is science fiction.
This is the Vault, or as some of us have come to call it, the Freak Show.
Independence Day. All right, here is your next one, and it is comedy as well.
Uh-oh, is this him? I see Sir Colonel Von Generous right here in front of me.
Okay, I'm confused right now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I have not introduced myself. We have talked on the phone. But I am Sir Dolph Lundgren, Devlin's man friend / love monkey.
You can pass. You can't get a clue, but you can pass.
Pass.
Okay. Just go with it.
That's what I knew it was one of those newer ones, but I couldn't remember the name.
All right. Here you go. This one is classics.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me.
The Graduate.
Yay! You're welcome for that one.
Thank you. Science fiction.
So, this all seems horrible.
I'm going to go with The Toxic Avenger.
That's twice I've got you at this on this contest. That's the Avengers. When the Hulk pulls up on his motorcycle, half of New York's already destroyed, and he looks around and he goes, oh, this all seems rather horrible.
I don't recognize the voice. That's why I can't recognize that voice.
Mark Ruffalo? My God, he's easy to pick out.
I don't recognize it, yeah. All right. We are tied. Here's the last one.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
By the way, it's drama.
Yeah. If you go in. Your next one, comedy.
We did not lose Vietnam. It was a tie. I'm telling you, baby, they kicked to the last there. Boy, they whooped your hide real good. No, they didn't. Oh, yes, they did. Oh, no, they didn't. Oh, yes, they did. Oh, no, they didn't. Shut up.
Fish Called Wanda. All right. We are tied. We'll do one more for a tiebreaker, and if not, then we're tied. All right. It is comedy.
What? Over?
Animal House.
Did you say over?
My God, that was easy.
Nothing is over until we decide it is.
Drama.
Oh, are there any bears around here? Oh, sure. Black bears and grizzlies. When they came along here last month and they had an old lesbian.
On Golden Pond. All right, this week ends in a tie.
It's time to dig deep. That only means one thing. It's time for questions from my side.
This is being sponsored by Mr. Bill's Boot and Shoe Repair in Pantego, Texas. Tell Mr. Bill you heard this ad and receive a 20% discount on any shoe repair. Find them online at MrBills.net, where they'll save your soul and gladly die for you. All right, how this works is you, the listeners, send in your questions. It can be anything and everything, just like our podcast. Each week we will randomly select 3 questions to answer on the air live. All right, and the first question this week is... what song would you pick as your personal theme song? If I'm gonna pick it for the show, I'm gonna go with Afternoon Delight.
What?
Because the show is an afternoon delight. Hello.
Read the question again.
What song would you pick as your personal theme song? I said for the show, I'm gonna pick.
You don't.
Afternoon
We
Delight.
don't reinterpret the question.
Fine. Then the answer is Simply the Best by Tina Turner.
No way, man! I
Yes.
feel like a woman. Shania Twain is more you.
No.
Oh yes,
I'm simply the best, better than all the rest.
Oh my God!
That is my personal theme
people.
song.
Listen to this shit. My God,
It's true. What's yours?
whatever.
What's your personal theme song?
Billy Joel, My Life.
My Life. That's not bad. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, that's all right. All right. Here
That is the definitive answer.
No.
Yes.
Well, for you, that's the definitive answer. For me, that's the definitive answer. Simply the best.
Oh my God.
Next one is: Are you both Republicans? I am not a Republican.
Neither am I.
I am in Massachusetts. It's undeclared, but an independent. I typically vote. Typically, I would say I lean towards Democrats on local elections. On state and federal, I would lean more towards Republicans. But
I also am independent.
But I think it's the best person for the job. I don't care whether they're a Libertarian, a Green Party, a Republican, a Democrat. That doesn't matter.
Well, I'm independent, and guys, I've said this a million times. I think the party should be done away with.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should too. But you want to give them ties. All right.
Just for the meetings.
Just for the meetings. What was your all-time favorite job? All-time favorite job.
I know what yours was.
I don't know. This one's tough.
Running the movie theater.
I really, really liked that. That was probably it. Managing a movie theater was probably my all-time favorite job. Although being on the radio was really cool too. That was a dream for me to be a radio DJ. That was always a dream.
Did you get paid for that?
Yeah, I got paid for that.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was volunteer work.
No. I got paid for that. I left it too soon, so I didn't pursue it. It didn't end up, But I don't know. I will go with the movie theater manager. Yeah.
What do you think mine is?
I would say being in the rock band.
Well, that's no.
You got paid for it, did you not?
Yeah. Well, that's too much of a cop out, easy one. I'm going to go with consumer auto parts.
Really?
And I don't even need to go into the million reasons why. And
because it was fun, right?
Well,
you had a good time.
How many times did you hang out there?
Because it was fun. Yeah. All right. So, folks, send us in your questions to be read on the air. We want them. Send them to Twitter or Facebook or any social media or our website. Oh, by the way, the penis guy who lost his penis, his picture is also on our website. So if you want to head over to our website, fountainofthought.com, you can see his bloody mess over there.
Lovely.
Looking for a little-known but great movie to watch this weekend? Then you're listening to the right podcast. Here's an awesome movie recommendation.
Well, I wouldn't call it so awesome, but the movie's called The Room, but it's declared the worst acted movie, or just the worst movie at all time, but the acting especially.
It's a cult classic.
Yeah, and the lead character, he's also the man who wrote the picture, directed it, the whole 9 yards. It is so over-the-top bad that you have to watch it, just like it says. You have to watch it just because you're just in awe of how bad this movie really is, especially his acting. Oh, my God. It's almost hilarious.
Next week's, let's do cult classics.
Cult classics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, bad movies and things like that. What do you say?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But The Room. If you're ever just bored and you're looking for something just for...
You want to watch a bad movie. You're recommending they watch a bad movie.
You want to watch a bad movie that's actually going to entertain you because it's so bad. Trust me, that was just... It was worth it. I liked it.
Sonny's Pet Peeve
of the week.
Well, here it is November again. And of course, it's that time of year where we start killing animals. My pet peeve is
hunting?
Yeah, calling hunting a sport. Okay? No. Hunting is hunting. Fishing is fishing. In my book of definitions. A sport is when two things equally face off, both with the same chances of winning. Running for your life through the woods, being chased by a man in an orange vest with a shotgun trying to kill you, to me, in his mind, if it could think that well, would not be a sport.
Imagine you're a deer. You're prancing along, you get thirsty, you spot a little brook, you put your little deer lips down to the cool, clear water. Bam! A fucking bullet rips off part of your head. Your brains are laying on the ground in little bloody pieces. Now I ask you, would you give a fuck what kind of pants the son of a bitch who shot you was wearing?
Okay, so leave the sport out of it, okay? I'm not going to disagree with it. I'm not going to tell you shouldn't do it. I don't participate. It's not my thing, but it does offend me when you call it a sport. Yeah. Sport requires competition. And you're not going to sit there and go, well, the deer hides from you. And no,
the competition is did I kill a bigger deer than you?
Yeah, right. Or bullshit like that. No.
All right, Sonny, any final thoughts?
No, not really. I don't have any words of wisdom today.
All right, everyone. Leave your opinion or your thoughts on our listener line at 413-612-8037. Look out for our Dissecting Discovery, a completely separate podcast. All right, and reminding everyone to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fountain of Thought. Follow us on Twitter at TalkFOT. And don't forget to visit our website, fountainofthought.com, for past, future episodes and to register for our contest, guys. So go on there and register, and you can win some good stuff. And remember, everyone, be a fountain, not a drain.
Say, I like you. You're under arrest for indecent southern exposure. It's against the law. Get it going. So who's gone for you, bub?
Are you crying? There's no crying in baseball.